Scream 7. Who will live and who will die? Let's talk about it.
Certain rules. Push the laws and you end up dead.
This is the moment when the supposedly dead killer comes back to life.
Not in my movie.
Surprise, Sydney.
He's gone mad.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
A very simple formula.
You want to play psycho killer?
Everybody's a suspect.
No, please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel.
I'll be right back.
Okay, I think it's gonna go something like this.
Welcome back to the channel. I'm Pamela. Thank you so much for tuning into another video. Today we are discussing who's going to live or die in Scream 7. I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of my predictions, and please leave a comment down below. Who do you think will live or die in Scream 7? So I'm just gonna start off strong in this video with Gale Weathers. She is my #1 prediction for Scream 7 deaths. I think there is about a 99.5% chance that Gale is going to die. She's pretty much the only one in my head who is guaranteed. I do think it's her time to go. Don't get me wrong, I love Gale, but you know, we're 7 movies in, and these movies need big deaths. With the return of the franchise in 2022, Scream 5 did what needed to be done. Dewey died, and it hurt so much, and we miss him dearly, but they really needed to come back with a bang, and like Amber said, our movie has stakes.
Because our movie has stakes!
So I really thought that Gale was going to die in Scream 6. She almost did. I shed a tear for her in that movie theater. One of my main issues with Scream 6 is that there were no big character deaths. Literally no one died in Scream 6. I think the biggest death in 6 was probably Annika, and even then, I just didn't care that much. I think in Scream 6, either Gale needed to go or one of the core 4. I was expecting it to be Mindy to kind of mirror Randy from Scream 2. Obviously, neither of those things happened. And I'm kind of torn on how I feel about Gale surviving Scream 6, because I do think that final line that we got from her would have been a good ending. The line that she says, "Tell Sydney he never got me," that is what made me shed a tear. I thought that was a very emotional line. So that would have been good as her final words, but a part of me is happy that she survived, because I do think that Sydney needs to be there for Gale's death. For it to really hit and pack an emotional punch, I think Sydney needs to be present when Gale dies. And my prediction for how Gale's death is going to go down is I do think that she's going to sacrifice herself for Sydney. I think Gale and Sydney are going to team up one last time to take down Ghostface, and I think Ghostface is going to come close to killing Sydney, but Gale is going to jump in the line of fire. Because Sydney has a family, and Gale doesn't. Gale even says this in Scream 6, her family sucks, or her parents suck. And we've seen in 6 movies that she really doesn't have anyone in her life. She even said to Sam in 6, in that same conversation, she said, "You can even make just one person your family." So Dewey was her only family. She really has no one in her life. And Sydney has a husband, multiple kids. She has a whole family. And I think Gale is going to want to sacrifice herself so that Sydney can go on living for her family. Because Gale doesn't have that. She doesn't have a family to live for. So I really think that that is how it's going to go down. And Gale's death is definitely going to mean a lot more if it happens that way. And I hope that Gale and Sydney can have a final moment together. Gale lying on the floor, bleeding out. Sydney standing over her, crying, similar to how Sam and Tara were in the Gale scene in 6, but this time it's Sydney. And Sydney's crying. They briefly reminisce about everything that they've been through. And maybe even Gale could have a hallucination of Dewey, or some kind of flashback of Dewey. And that could also be a fun way for fans to see Dewey again. Picturing it now, I literally want to cry. They could make this scene so emotional, which is what you want from these movies. You want to feel something. As much as it hurts, it's better to feel pain and sadness from a movie than to feel nothing at all. If a movie didn't make you feel anything, then what is the point, honestly? So yeah, that is my number 1 death prediction. Gale sacrificing herself for Sydney so that Sydney can live on for her family. I feel very confident that this is going to happen, so I guess we'll see. Now we can also have a Kirby Reed death, which I honestly don't want to happen. I want Kirby to live for a few movies because it's nice to have legacy characters come back, and you know, without Dewey, without Gale, we're really like losing these legacy characters. So I do hope Kirby can live on for a few more movies, but it's always a possibility that she can die. And same with Mark Kincaid, Sydney's husband. I think that there is a chance that he could die, although I don't feel as confident about this as I do with Gale. I would say that if Mark Kincaid comes back, there's about a 50-50 chance of him living or dying. I have made videos before saying that he could possibly be the opening kill, and that could be a way to get Sydney involved again, because I do think it's going to take a lot for her to want to face off with Ghostface again. And Ghostface killing her husband could be a way to do that. Another option is Neil Prescott, Sydney's father. There are rumors that something really personal to Sydney is going to happen to get her involved again. Could be her husband or could be her father. Now there is a deleted scene in Scream 4 where Dewey says that Neil died, but because it's a deleted scene, they could just choose to ignore that if they want. Another possible death for Scream 7 is one of the twins, the Meeks twins. We don't know if they're going to be in the movie. Most people think that the core 4 is completely done, but we really only have confirmation on Sam and Tara not returning. There is always a chance that the twins could return, and if that's the case, maybe one of them will die. And then we also have Martha Meeks, the mom. She could possibly be in the movie because she does have a connection to Sydney. They have that scene together in Scream 3. And I do think that Scream 7 will mirror Scream 3 in a lot of ways, because we've seen that with Screams 5 and 6 mirroring Screams 1 and 2. So Martha could possibly show up in 7, and if she does, she could die. So out of those 6 people that I already mentioned, really only Gale is my actual true prediction. The other 5 people are more just like speculation, possibilities, but the 7th option is a true prediction. I do think that Stu Macher is going to die. If you're new here, then I am a Stu believer. I do think that he is currently alive and will return in Scream 7. I do think he is going to be the main Ghostface in Scream 7, leading a cult of Ghostfaces. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But with Stu Macher's return, I think will also come his death. I think that they will finally officially kill him in some kind of way where it won't be a question anymore in the future whether he's alive or dead. It's gonna be some type of like Michael Myers in Halloween Ends type of ending for him. You know, they're either going to chop his head off or throw him up in a giant meat grinder, something like that, where there's not going to be any question going forward. Now, I would love it if he got away with it in the end to continue on into Scream 8. I do think there's a small possibility of that as well, and I would love to see it just because I would love to see even more Stu in Scream 8. But if I had to pick one right now, if Stu will live or die at the end of Scream 7, I do think that they're going to kill him. So Gale and Stu are really my 2 death predictions, but those are 7 options that I gave you. We have Gale, Mark Kincaid, Neil Prescott, Kirby Reed, Martha Meeks, or Mindy Meeks, and Stu Macher. That's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning into another video. Please leave a comment down below and let me know which one of these ideas is your favorite. What's your number one prediction? Are there any other characters that you think are going to die? Let me know down below. I want to hear from you guys. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. I am trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Please also give this video a like if you enjoyed it and turn on all notifications so that you don't miss out on any future Scream theories, Scream 7 content. As we start to get some more actual news for Scream 7, I will be posting about it here to the channel. Please also subscribe to my second YouTube channel. If you don't know, I do have another channel trying to get my subs up over there. And I do also have some merch for sale. Team Macher, Team Loomis, and Stu Crew. And I also have my Sistapam Spookfest 2024 merch for sale. So if you're interested, the link is down below in the description. But thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time.